fingers.
Okay, I think it might be working.
We're live. Woohoo!
Are we live?
We're live.
Take it away, Lindsay.
All right, wonderful. I've got to get where I can see everybody. Perfect. All right, welcome everybody. We're so excited that you're joining us today on this Giving Tuesday, a way to kick off the giving season by showing some love for all your favorite nonprofits. There are so many out there and so many in our Gig Harbor community that we are grateful for. Of course, we are Harbor Wild Watch, your local environmental education organization, and we've got the whole team with us here today. We've got Stina and Rachel and myself, Lindsay. We're going to do introductions here in a second, but I first want to just share with you what we're going to do today. So this is kind of our way of thanking all of our amazing followers, supporters, donors, members, volunteers, board members, everybody who's ever been involved with Harbor Wild Watch, especially this year, for being a part of our programs. And so we thought we would do something fun for you today, kind of like a behind the scenes day in the life of the Harbor Wild Watch team. So we've got, we're coming to you from 3 different locations, and we're gonna do a little bit of program, a little bit of fun video, some sharing, and yeah, that's our plan for today. So why don't we do some introductions? We're gonna start with Stina, and Stina's gonna tell us her name, her title, how long she's been with Harbor Wild Watch, where you're broadcasting from, and then what you are grateful for. So take it away, Stina.
Awesome. Hi, everybody out there. I'm Christina Troyer, and I'm the science specialist for Harbor Wild Watch. And in January, it will have been 8 years with this fantastic, fun organization, which just is like, time flies when you're having fun, right? Like, how has it been 8 years? Something I'm thankful for. Well, I guess first, I'm here at Titlow Beach Park in Tacoma, Washington. It is a gorgeous sunny day, a little windy, and there might be some train noise. So hopefully everything comes pretty clear through on my end. But absolutely something I'm thankful for is the fabulous volunteers that we get to work with. I'm going to be doing a little demonstration about one of the community science projects we do. So I especially love my community science folks out there. Those of you who come out in the winter, in the dark of the night, you're something special to me. So I know it's, you know, a really weird time. And so I think I'm especially missing you all right now because we haven't gotten to hang out. And I look forward to the time where we can all safely gather again and collect some meaningful science data together out on the beach and other places and creeks and all those other places we go to. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm going to turn it over to Rachel.
All right, I am Rachel Easton. I am the education director for Harbor Wild Watch, and I have been with this organization since 2007. Gosh, that seems like such a long time. But I am coming to you live from a little park. I don't even think it has a name yet. It's a key pen property that is right adjacent to Minter Creek. So I'm very close to the hatchery. You might hear some eagle activity as they have been, I've been hearing them on and off. So, you know, keep your eyes tuned for that. You can hear those eagles coming down to feast on the salmon that are returning. But I am particularly grateful for the visitors who come to our programs. Many of you know the motto of Harbor Wild Watch is learn, have fun. And we as a staff embrace that wholeheartedly. We always ask, are we learning? Are we having fun? And I always ask that to our visitors, whether that's a little, oh, excuse me, a little toddler out on the beach getting their feet wet for the first time, or an older retired couple strolling the beach, or walking through the woods. You know, are we learning? Are we having fun? And if not, what do we need to change? And people embrace it. They love it. They love being silly with us. They do the dances that Steve and I always do out on the beach or in the field or on our field trips. So I really am grateful for the visitors, and especially during this year for all the people, both new followers of us and people who've been around for a number of years. I'm really grateful for all the people who've tuned into our digital programs this year.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, definitely. And I always love that you can tell that we are doing live programs because, you know, things happen. Like trains go by, or we get frogs in our throat, or we drop things. So we're definitely live, and I think maybe a little bit later we'll talk about some of the unique and interesting challenges we've had this year that we have just really kind of gone with the flow and had fun with it right along with all of you. So I'll kind of wrap it up with introductions. I am Lindsay.
Lindsay, I'm gonna really quickly pop in our live adventures. It looks like my video might still be pinned, so hopefully I want to make sure that it's not just my little face out on the Facebook live stream, that it pops to other people. I just noticed that, so
that is important.
Just
so,
checking in there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that you're not pinned, so I'm hoping that I'm doing this right. Cool. Now, again, another fun thing is that usually it's Rachel and Stina that do these live videos, but I am attempting to do this one, kind of the tech side of it. So if I mess up, I apologize, and I thank you all for going with me. So I'm Lindsay Stowberg. I am your executive director, and I've been with the organization since 2010. So we're just coming up on 10 years here, which is absolutely crazy to me. The last 10 years have gone by really quickly, but also I feel like have been slow enough to allow me to enjoy it and get to know all of you. And I especially am grateful for these two right here, Rachel and Stina, because they are so important. They're the heart of what Harbor Wild Watch does. And we could not do it without them. Now, I'm coming to you live from the Harbor Wild Watch office, the historic Scansey House in downtown Gig Harbor. And it is super sad because we have not had people here since March. And that has been really hard. We have all been working from home, doing our best to stay safe and keep everybody in our lives and all of you safe. And so we have been working from home, which has its own challenges, and doing our virtual programs. But it's been tough not being able to have all of you here, especially our volunteers at the Visitor Center. We are so grateful for them and everything that they've done with us since we were here in 2014. And so I'm really looking forward to hopefully sometime next year, we will get them to come back and invite all of you to come see our amazing exhibits and have animals again and all the things that we love about this place that we're missing out on right now. So many things we're grateful for. It's wonderful. I'll add one extra thing. What I really love, there was a time period at the beginning of this pandemic that I was on maternity leave. And so I got to watch all of the programs, kind of felt like from afar. But I love reading all of the comments in the chat box from all of you. They are so fun, whether it's just doing a shout out to Rachel or Stina on how amazing they are, or asking your really great questions. And I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I don't know that. I'm interested to hear what Rachel says about this too. To just great banter that happens in those chat boxes back and forth. So I encourage you all today to continue to do that. Tell us where you're watching from. That's something that's really helpful for us in all of our videos because it helps with our grant requirements. So that's one of the challenges that we've had this year is how do we track who is seeing our videos and where they're coming from. Normally we're able to say, we deliver programs to this many kids at this school, at this age level, and that is challenging digitally. So we appreciate when you do that for us. And I see that, Mary's saying that Rachel's been there a whole lot of years, and yes, she has. So, 2020 has been quite a year for everybody. And it's kind of strange to think about how different our lives were just 8-9 months ago. But we have been delivering programs for 16 years. We kind of had a tried and true method that we've been using, but our model, like so many others, was flipped on its head in March. Schools closed. We were in the middle of delivering classroom workshops, and our programs came to a halt. Our visitor center closed its doors, and we were faced with a decision. We can let the circumstances prevent us from fulfilling our mission, or we can formulate a plan and continue providing unique programs that inspire the next generation of scientists, stewards, just people that are interested in protecting our amazing environment. So we chose the latter. And I will say again that the quick thinking, resilience, creativity, and thank goodness, technologically savvy team that we have here at Harbor Wild Watch allowed us to pivot to a 100% virtual learning format within just a few short weeks of the shutdown. And I know that's something that I am super proud of, just making that transition so quickly, because I know a lot of other organizations struggled and even are still struggling. So I'm super grateful for our team just working through it and making it happen. So, you know, we've done everything from classroom STEM workshops. Tina's been downstairs at the Scansy house, live broadcasting. Rachel's been out in the field doing field workshops, to our walking tours on the beach, the wetlands, even our guided walking tours that we do in partnership with the Downtown Waterfront Alliance and the Harper History Museum. You know, our sort of ingenuity helped us deliver over 120 virtual programs this year. And here's the number that's really exciting. Over 2.4 million minutes viewed across multiple digital platforms. I just need a moment to just take in that number because it is incredible. So it is because of all of you that we continue to have a direct impact in the lives of our local youth and families. We really focused, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, on how we could help students and parents who were finding themselves kind of homeschooling for the first time, or helping their kids do the digital or virtual learning with their teachers and administrators. And so we focused on that a lot, especially in the beginning. But you have watched our videos, you've shared our content, you've made financial contributions, and we are so grateful in your confidence in us and our ability to inspire that next generation. So thank you to all of you for being absolutely amazing. So that's enough here from me for right now. We are going to take it over to Rachel, who is going to give us a little forest walk of a kind of a really cool place that you and Stina have recently discovered. Isn't that right, Rachel?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to flip my camera around so you can kind of take in the whole of what we're looking at here. This is an absolutely gorgeous park here. It is a Key Pen Parks property, and you get sort of this, it's not very big, it's just a little narrow pathway that takes us down to Donkey Creek, but along the way there's really, really beautiful things to stop and notice. And so one of the things I'm always encouraging people to do on our walks is like, take a closer look. What are you curious about? What kinds of things are you noticing as we do this? And so this log is a perfect example of a great place for habitat. There are different animals that are going to be found here, but I'm most interested in, and this is a surprise to no one in my family, I love the mosses. So take a closer look at this moss that's here, and you can see there's not just one species, there's many different forms that are moving along here. It's really, really beautiful. And then in amongst the moss, we have something that looks a little bit different. That kind of sea foam green color is lichen. And I always say I love lichen, but I took a liken to lichen because it is a partnership between algae and fungus. So the fungus kind of creates the shape, and then the algae creates the nutrients or the nutrition for that fungus. Also in here, I don't know if my camera's going to show it off, but there is like the tiniest little mushrooms. Oh, they're so darling. But we can look close. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Okay, so hold on. This is a weird, speaking of lichens, this is probably the lichen that there is. This is called lungworm. And I love it because it is weird and bright green color, and kind of has this like really crazy texture on it. But it is just so pretty. And then if we flip it upside down, it's kind of this bright white. And its growth really reminds me of a lot of looks almost like a staghorn fern, or maybe even like a coral or some other bizarre, interesting creature. But it's one of my favorites to show off. It's always a good idea if you're walking around in the woods to kind of tread lightly and look down, because you'll see things like this little brown mushroom. Now, don't ask me to identify it. I my specialty is in marine organisms, not the terrestrial, but I can confirm it's a mushroom. So that's as good as you're going to get. But down in here in the leaf litter, the closer you look, like you can see just more and more species. And in a forest, and especially in a protected park setting, we're going to see things that are really thriving here. This is a fungus called turkey tail, and it's a decomposer. And it really does remind me of coral, how it grows. Really kind of cool. And it's just growing all the way up the side of this alder. Down here in the leaf litter, like you can just sort of move some leaves around and see that little yellow blobs on there or some other kind of fungus. Oh, there's more tiny, tiny mushrooms here. I wish I could shrink you all down and do a little fern gully action here and show you just some of the really cool things that are here. But it's so beautiful on this microscopic level. And then because we have all this plant life and this fungus, that creates habitat and food for all the other things. So you may have seen me be distracted a little bit while Lindsay was talking. And there was like a squirrel or two chasing each other over there in those big, tall trees. This park's got a variety of trees. We see the cedars, western red cedars here, kind of a hallmark of the Pacific Northwest. There are, above me, these are alders. And alders really thrive in disturbed areas, but I'm gonna walk us down this path a little farther. You can see it kind of drops down into this little gully here. There's kind of a clearing area. And I'm gonna try not to fall because it's a little slick, but that would make for some entertaining video for you guys. But gosh, these big leaf maples just have more amazing moss and more lichens. This one's a different color, kind of a deep foresty green. So cool. As we're walking down, I'm always mindful of kind of the slope of the land and thinking about if it rains right here, what's going to happen? Where's that rain going to go? And in this instance, we can see exactly where our water is heading because I don't know if you can see through the trees, but Minter Creek is just below us here. Oh, the sunlight off of the water is beautiful. I'll make my way down there, but I think I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lindsay, and I'll give you another update when we get to some more beautiful scenery here.
All right, thank you, Rachel. So exciting. I love the live programs because you just never know what's going to happen. And that's a little bit like our regular in-person programs, right? When we do beach walks or appearance at night, you never know what animals you're going to come up on. But it's, I don't know, it's a little bit of more of like an intrigue or mystery when it's a virtual program. And a shout out, Rachel mentioned that is a Key Pen Parks property. Shout out to Key Pen Parks. We do lots of programs in their parks, also Penn Met Parks, the City Gig Harbor, and our Washington State Parks. These are all amazing outdoor spaces that we enjoy all the time, and we try to bring you there virtually, but also part of what we want to inspire people to do is that once you watch our programs, then we want you to go visit that place. We want you to experience it for yourself. And of course, follow all the guidelines about masking up and being properly socially distanced. But we want people to get out there. And so recently when we were doing some of our salmon tours, we had some resources that are up on our website. So you could watch our video and then download some of those resources, kind of a little scavenger hunt activity, and then go out and enjoy that with your household. So thank you, Rachel, for bringing that. We're going to check in with her a little bit later too. So now we're going to share something that is very near and dear to me. Also, just a quick shout out to Rachel, carrying the tripod and then setting it up and doing it all right then while still on camera. You're quite skilled, Rachel. So I am going to share with you a video that is been just, it's exciting for me to share because it is a little story time that here we go, that I'm going to share with my son. And so many of you know that I had a baby in March, right at the beginning of the pandemic, which is again why I am so grateful for Rachel and Stina and Carly, our former communication specialist, for just doing an amazing job while you know, we kind of had a plan in place and then it all changed when it happened. So taking it the help by the helm and just doing an amazing job while I got to spend some quality time with my new son. So fast forward, he is 8 months old already, which is pretty crazy. And I absolutely love getting to share the virtual programs with him. So we just recently watched the salmon tour that we did. He's watched several beach walks. And I feel like even though Rachel and Stina can't be there with him and hold him yet or anything like that, which they desperately want to do, he's kind of getting to know them. And I know that in the future, he's going to learn so much from those two. So I am going to share a video that we made the other day of a little story time, and it has a marine theme to it. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Hold on one second. We're going to do that again. We're going to make sure that we optimize the sound, right, Rachel? We learned this the hard way last time when I was doing a presentation. All right. Here we go.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Bodie's Nursery. This is Bodie, and he is 8 months old. And one of our favorite things to do together is read. He's got lots of favorite books, but one of his favorites is this one, The Sea Otter Pup. And so we thought that we would read that with you today. What do you think, Bodie? Is that a good idea? Yeah? This book is written by Victoria Miles, and it's illustrated by Elizabeth Gatt. It's also published by the Orca Book Publishers, who is dedicated to preserving the environment and prints all their books on Forest Stewardship Council certified paper. So we really like that too. We love this book especially because it has absolutely beautiful illustrations that you're going to see. It's scientifically accurate, which I love. But most importantly, it's a story about the beautiful relationship between a mother and child and all of the lessons that the mother teaches him. And we can relate to that, can't we, Bodie? Yeah. All right. What do you think? Should we get started? Do you want to read your book? All right. He also loves his whale shark. Okay. Sea Otter Pup. There is a forest of seaweed in the ocean. It is a forest of kelp. At the bottom of the kelp forest, Mother Sea Otter searches for food. High above, her pup is waiting. He is wrapped in a piece of kelp so he can't drift away while Mother is down below. He bobs, floating on his back in the cold waves, holding his front paws and hind flippers above the water to keep them dry. Look at Pup. Look at him. Oh, you're getting sleepy. Pup is hungry. He is anxious for Mother to return and begins to make crying sounds to call for her. Wah! 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 Pup's voice sounds like the cry of the gulls that soar high above him in the sky. There's Pup. Suddenly, Mother pops her head up above the waves. She swims to Pup and tucks him under her arm. Then she rolls over on her back and Pup lies on her chest. There's Pup and Mom. Look at them. What was she doing? Mother has 2 purple sea urchins for them to share. Pup is so hungry, he snatches one of the urchins from her paws. He opens his jaws as wide as he can and bites. Yipe, cries Pup. The sea urchin's spines are sharp. They hurt his mouth. Does my finger taste like a purple sea urchin? Oops. Let's show the picture. Oh, we forgot to show the picture. There we go. Pup watches his mother. She is more careful. Purple urchins are her favorite food. food, and she knows just how to eat them. Using her teeth, she cracks open the hard shell and slurps out the tasty urchin. She shares a piece with Pup, and he gobbles it down. Oh, can you do that with your 2 teeth? Huh? Eating sea urchins is messy. Mother and Pup must wash. Mother sets Pup aside and somersaults once, twice, 3 times under the ocean waves. Do you want to show everybody? See, that's how Mother does her somersaults. Yeah. Yeah. Then she washes herself. Pup tries to copy her. He rubs his head with his paws and pulls at his fur. When Mother is finished with her own grooming, she squeezes the water out of Pup's fur. Yeah, that's right. She combs him with her claws and fluffs him all over. Let's show everybody the picture. Yeah. Oh, what's next? Pup yawns. The afternoon sun is warm, and he snuggles closer against Mother's chest. In a moment, he is fast asleep. Pup does not sleep for long. He is hungry again, and Mother must leave him to die for food. They wash after every meal. Mother helps Pup and sometimes grooms him while he is asleep. Oh, yeah? Do I do that to you sometimes? What a nice mother. Yeah. Oh, what has she got? She will dive many more times throughout the days and the nights to find the urchins, crabs, and mollusks she needs to feed them both. What has she got there, Bodhi? Is that the crab? That looks like a Dungeness crab to me. What do you think? You think so too? Okay. Soon, Pup will begin to follow her deep down below the waves, and he will learn to find food for himself. Oh, is this book food? Let's show him the last picture. That's it. The end. Oh, what a good book, wasn't it? We hope that you enjoyed the Sea Otter Pup as much as we do. And we also hope that you feel inspired to give to Harper Wild Watch today on Giving Tuesday. Your gift is going to ensure that the next generation, just like Bodhi here, has access to quality environmental educational opportunities. Thanks again for reading with us today. We hope you enjoy the rest of the program. Say bye-bye to everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. I think we're back. Wasn't that fun? Oh, makes me miss him. He's at home. Shout out to my mother-in-law who is watching him today so I can be here doing this where the signal is very strong, unlike my house, where it is just hit or miss sometimes. But really, that is what I know and I'm sure all of you feel the same about your children, about your grandchildren, and just kids in general. We want to have quality environmental educational opportunities so that that next generation can enjoy the outdoors like we have. And that is what Harper Wild Watch is all about. We're here to inspire stewardship for Puget Sound and the greater Salish Sea through environmental educational opportunities. So, despite all that success I told you about with having 2.4 million views and successfully transitioning to virtual platforms, we, like many other organizations and businesses, definitely struggled in 2020. Several of our traditional revenue sources disappeared when our in-person programs went away. Things like our program fees, where we have summer camps and just our Sea Stars and Beyond, things like that, where we normally would have programs ongoing. Our corporate sponsors, because so many of our businesses are struggling. That revenue source that we've relied on for many years, went away. And our memberships and volunteer fees, where we, those rely on in-person events and being out at the farmers markets and cocktails and fishtails and things like that, where we're interacting with people. And so, there's one way that you can assist us in helping to fill this gap, and that's by making a donation on this Giving Tuesday. And we know that many of you have already done that, and we are so appreciative of you. But we do still have, a gap in our funding, and so we're hoping to raise another $20,000 by the end of this month through a couple different sources. And so today is one way that you can help make a difference. And let me tell you, $5, $10, $25, each dollar makes a huge difference in what we can accomplish together. And so I want to talk a little bit more about some challenges, and Rachel, Stina, feel free to chime in here if you feel like it. But there have been some interesting challenges that we've dealt with this year. So we talked about the fact that we've had 120 programs. And before I move to those challenges, let me tell you what that breakdown is, just so you have an idea. So that's 30 different STEM workshops, 9 expert presentations, those cocktails and fish tales programs that we took virtually, 62 public walking tours in various habitats, and 13 monitoring events, which Stephen's going to talk about in a little bit. And then in addition to that, we did 162, and that number has actually climbed now, TikTok videos. That's an area that Rachel actually got us into this year. And we went viral in the good sense that we got over 1 million views on one of our videos in particular, and then we just took off. And it's been pretty incredible because that has expanded our reach so much. So, a lot of our programs in person, we were restricted to who was in our geographic range. And going virtual has expanded that so much. So not only are people who maybe traditionally couldn't get to our programs or were working and so couldn't come to them at the times they were at, but people from all over the country and all over the world are now seeing Harbor Wildlife programs. So that's been a huge silver lining to this virtual craziness that we've encountered this year. But there's been some challenges. And so I'll kind of start off with one of the challenges has been working from home. I know Rachel's going to chime in on that as well. Being a new mom and having a young one, I'll tell you that I've done many Zoom calls with Bodhi attached to me. When he was younger, it was a lot easier because he pretty much slept through everything. But as you could hear in that video, he's vocal now and he's mobile. And so it's a little more challenging. So Rachel, I know you can relate to that.
Oh yeah, my kid, whole Zoom academy, we call it, where he's juggling, on-screen time and off-screen time, and he's got to be on using the internet at the same time I need to be on using the internet. And luckily we've been pretty flexible and been able to make it work, but it is a challenge. You're so used to not having to teach your kids and, sending them away to school and having them out of your hair for a while. And then of course I have Evelyn, who's 3. She'll be 4 in a couple of weeks, but she's at a needy stage in her life where she wants attention and she wants Big Brother's attention. And then I'm playing referee a little bit. So yeah, it has been a challenge to say the least.
Oh, yeah, I can't. Having one, I honestly don't know how people do it with 2. I'm sure you said that before and you just do it, but you're amazing, Rachel, for so many reasons, but that's one of them. Stina, how about you? Any interesting challenges? I know you were just mentioning some technological challenges that you were hoping for, or struggling with.
I think the main thing is I miss my people. I'm such an extroverted human that interaction has been dramatically cut from my life. So whether it's our, Tuesday stairwell chats in the office or, programs with the public as well as our fabulous volunteers, I miss that. And it's definitely challenging doing our community science work without our volunteers and kind of thinking about that little piece of, contributions all make a difference. Our community scientists make a huge difference because it's taking a big ecological question or problem and kind of spreading the love of people doing the work so that it's impossible for one scientist to do it all. So by getting the community involved, we can make it possible. And it's definitely tricky to do when you can't hold in-person programs. So for instance, like our Puget Sound seabird surveys, that whole this year of data has been canceled, unfortunately. So kind of some bummer gaps occurring in some of those big questions that we're trying to answer with our community. So, yeah.
Yeah, I second that. People, I miss the people. Those you people and everybody watching. I miss you all. So a quick shout out to a few people who have donated today, just because they're amazing and we want to give them special recognition. Rob, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your donation. William, thank you. Earlier in the day, you made a donation. Mary, oh, we love you. Mary, you donate to a lot of our online programs and we are so grateful for you. Yes, so much. And shout out to Gig Harbor Brewing Company. They made a donation. I was just talking about how corporate sponsors were less this year, but wow, thank you so much to Gig Harbor Brewing Company. So if you are able to make a donation today, please do so by clicking that donation button on you can go to the homepage of our website. You can just scroll to the bottom and it says donate. Giving Tuesday is actually a banner at the very top of our homepage, so you can do that. Of course, you can do it through our Facebook page, or you can always mail us a check as well too. So thank you so much. And of course, Giving Tuesday goes on all day today. But that doesn't mean that if you can't do it today, you can't give it to us another day. So we understand that as well. All right. So next up on our program, we are going to go over to Sina, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she's doing out at Titlow Beach. Take it away, Sina.
Hi there, everyone. I just wanted to pan around because I don't know if you can see the lovely Tacoma Narrows Bridge in the background. This is one of my favorite beaches to go to eat dinner out on these little picnic tables and watch the sunset. And there's been some stellar sunsets lately. So I hope you're out there enjoying some of this sunny weather. And it's also one of the sites that we do for the Blue Water Task Force monitoring. And this, of course, is a collaboration like many community scientists or community science adventures are. And we work with the South Sound Surfrider chapter, which is part of an international group doing great work. So cheers to them. A little shout out on Giving Tuesday to Surfrider as well. But Titlow Beach Park is a place where people like to recreate. As I've been standing here, I've seen a paddleboarder come out and a kayaker go in. There's lots of families poking around. There's some people listening to music, so you might hear a little bit of that in my background. But because this is a place that people like to play, including in the water, this is a site that I love scuba diving at. There's pilings kind of out behind me. When the sun's shining through them, it gets this cathedral effect as you're looking up through the sea anemones. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's lots of sea life here, including the giant Pacific octopus. Back in the day, this was the site for the world's octopus wrestling competitions, which, yeah, this site just holds so much. And so it's really important that we're making sure the water quality here is clean. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm noticing the tide's kind of coming up on me, but I'm gonna take a water sample, and this gets analyzed out at the Science and Math Institute in Point Defiance Park. It's a school that we've been able to collaborate with to take a look at these samples for fecal coliform. And in the summertime, the Beach Watcher program through Washington Department of Ecology, they're doing, I think it's either weekly or bi-weekly tests at sites like Titlow Beach Park, places where people like to play. But they stopped doing that program in the winter, partially due to funding, and partially because I think they don't think people play all year round. But we know there's, you know, people like me, people like these kayakers and paddleboarders out today who play in the freezing cold Puget Sound year round. And so the Blue Water Task Force program is one of these community science efforts that goes to local recreation spots and kind of keeps an eye on it. We get this little snapshot of a sample that you can actually look at those results on the Blue Water Task Force map with all our different sites. So what I'm gonna do is I have my handy dandy little sample bottle on a boat hook. So I'm gonna extend that out because of, try not to knock my tripod over. Talk about some of the challenges of live programs, right? I need to give myself a little spritz of hand sanitizer because I don't want to contaminate my own sample. So get that taken care of. And then I'm gonna turn around here and take a sample. So pretty easy little community sciencing. Part of the nice thing about it is a lot of science is really accessible. It's not hard for me to just pop this lid off and turn around and grab some water that will get tested. So hang tight.
While Stina's grabbing that water sample, I just want to kind of let you know a little bit about what's happening in my screen here, where I'm creekside at Minter Creek, and there are a number of predators that are active right here in the area, from the humans that you see all the way down to mallard ducks and seagulls. Everybody's kind of taking advantage of the bounty that is the chum salmon returning right now. All right, back to you, Stina.
Awesome. I just kind of caught the last little peek of yours. But now that I have my water sample, it's gonna get tucked away in my handy dandy insulated pack here. And I hear a train coming, so I'm gonna get that squared away, and I can tune back in once this train passes and tell you a little bit more about community science and what's happening in December. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
All right. Thank you, Stina. And that is one of those, technological issues that we deal with, is just, trains coming through. So why don't we do another check-in with Rachel now, and then we'll do one final check-in with Stina, but before we go for the day. But Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's happening in your frame right now?
Yeah, so I was trying to focus, you guys. You know how I am. I got my head on a swivel, and I'm always looking for wildlife. And I did hear kind of a big commotion up in the woods. I'm guessing maybe a deer. But what I want to show you, that's a little more easily observed, is this interesting white fungus that's here on this branch. And then I don't know if the color is going to come through. This is like a blush colored blob of jelly. I'm wondering if it's maybe a slime mold or something. And then up the top here, we've got more of this kind of really pretty white, they almost look like shells on the outside of this branch. And then I'll give you the authentic experience. It is a little pungent down here. I don't know if you can see a few of the carcasses that are here. From these chum salmon. This is what's bringing everybody nearby. And if we look kind of up the stream a little bit, you can see there's a lot of gulls. There's easily 100 gulls here today. A couple of mallard ducks have been taking advantage, and they're feeding primarily on eggs that wash out of the creek. And so some of them will even paddle really kind of furiously a little bit farther upstream to try to dislodge eggs, and then they kind of follow them downstream and eat that. This sun right now, the light is just perfect for observing the surface, and you can see occasional little ripples as the salmon move a little bit. They have very good eyesight, and so me wearing my bright blue uniform, I think is scaring them off from kind of hanging out on this side of the creek. Also, the tide's not great. It's going out right now. It's not great for viewing fish, but still, we're gonna try. And then as we're kind of this is like where the trail dead ends. I'm just gonna show you my favorite fern, because everyone should have a favorite fern, right? And my favorite fern grows on the side of trees. It's what we call an epiphyte. And here it loves alders and big leaf maples, kind of the big deciduous trees. And it grows anywhere where you see this bright moss, but this is called licorice fern, and these are the fronds here. And down in here at the base there's this rhizome, and it gets the name licorice fern because if you take a bite of that rhizome, it is intensely anise flavored, like black licorice. It really, you'll have that taste in your mouth for like 45 minutes. It takes a while. And then I love pointing out this right here. We've got a stump. So hopefully you can see that it was cut across here level. And then out of that stump is a hemlock. So Western hemlock, this is our state tree here. This is a tree species that particularly loves nurse logs. And so whether that's a tree that falls naturally, whether it makes a sound or not, I don't know, but I do know that it's going to become habitat and that nurse log will be used. Or sometimes it is the remains from a logging operation. These stumps, they get used by the plants that are here. And so this big hemlock is growing right out of the stump here. And I'm fairly confident that this is a cedar stump just based on the kind of the slope of it and the size. This is just a big tree that was once here and now is still a pretty big tree. If we look up, you can see there's some big monstrous trees here. This one's another favorite of mine. This is cedar. And what I love about cedar is you come into the bark and you can just kind of feel it. It's got this great texture. It's really soft, kind of strippy kind of bark. It's kind of pretty red and it smells really good. Cedar is very aromatic and it's just got some great smell. I wish you had smell-o-vision for the trees, not so much for the dead salmon carcasses. So it's kind of a really a mixed smells here in the forest. I can show you one more kind of interesting tree here. Right here is a tree that fell over. And so this is the root ball of, I don't even know if I guess it is a cedar tree. So you can see kind of stretching up that way, some moss covered branches of a cedar tree, but they have really shallow roots. A lot of people are surprised to find out that this is all the roots that's holding up a 200-foot tall tree. And then right at our feet, we can see kind of that answer to that question of where's the water going to go when it lands on this land? Well, it's going to collect and it's going to form this little tributary that flows down into Minter Creek. Helps provide fresh water for the salmon that are making their way up. And then here's just another cool fern. This one is deer fern. And I love it because it has normal fronds. These are the leaves that do photosynthesis. And they look like, you know, every other fern out here. But then they have these special ones that have their spores. And I'm sorry, that's not showing up very well. But the underside is brown. And those are all the little spores for the rest of the next generation of these ferns. And they're called deer ferns because deer, particularly in the wintertime, when there's not a lot of good foraging things to eat, will take advantage of those and eat those. So yeah, we've got a lot of things happening out here in the forest. And I'm just happy. Oh, cool. I wonder what kind of berries those are. See, sometimes I get stumped. I know sea creatures. I don't know too much about plants anyway. I'm gonna have to do some research. And that for me, I think has been my favorite part of doing these digital programs is coming across something that I don't know. And normally when that happens during a program, I'm like, oh, okay, well, we'll research it. We'll get back to you. But like with the digital program, I have the opportunity to actually do the research and then go in and fill in the captions and give a little bit more information or do a voiceover or whatnot to get more information out there because you people are curious just like me and it's wonderful.
Before this train comes, quick shout out to that ability to add that little digital flair at the end of a thing. For our Peer into the Night program this December, we're going to be adding not just circles so you can see the creatures better, but also scientific names. So you can look forward to that on this Saturday at 7 p.m. Okay.
I love when Cena has to get as much as she can in before the train comes. That's great. So Rachel, thank you for taking us on another little tour there of the forest. You say that you're not very knowledgeable about plants, but you're a liar because you are. I am not very knowledgeable about plants.
A lot is that you learn, you come to the point where you know there's so much more you don't know. And I'm fully, I will admit that all the time. Yeah, I don't know.
And that is one of the wonderful things because like you said, you can go do the research and everybody can learn along with you. And that's what we're all about, right? Learn, have fun. I hope you can tell by our program today and all the programs that we do that we have fun doing this as well. And we're always learning. I have to do two little notes here because I caught your subtle little joke in there about, can you hear a tree fall? So I love when Rachel and especially Stina, she's got really good puns when those come out in the programs. And one of my other favorite things that you guys do is smell-o-vision. I love it when you say that because most people aren't going to just smell something that they don't know what it is. But when you tell us, like, it smells like this, I feel a lot more comfortable when I'm not with you two to go, all right, if I smell this, it's going to be okay. So thank you for that.
No problem. I think that, we just like to take all the senses. It's a really good way to, have a meaningful, memorable experience. And if you can smell it, sometimes that sense of smell really sticks in your brain. Like, I think I've had people talking about the garlic smelling sea stars. Like, they're like, hey, I remember this. It's just strange and wonderful.
Oh, I love it. Well, Stina, why don't you finish up telling us about what you're doing there, and maybe you can kind of wrap up with our in the location chats with the upcoming programs that we have that's going to round out the year.
Absolutely, yeah. You might have caught before. The trains are especially loud when they're first coming through, but they're now hopefully just a dim rumble in my background. But we do have Periods of the Night happening on the first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. We'll do a Facebook premiere. Those links are available as soon as we're done editing videos. So I'm planning to have that available soon so you can RSVP and get yourself a nice little reminder for those. We also have lots of upcoming winter beach monitoring events. You might be thinking like, hey, Harper Wild Watch, like, what are you doing a forest walk? Like, I thought you were all about sea creatures, but it's really hard to take you to the beach when the tide is high. So thankfully we have that Periods of the Night program where we have scuba divers and an underwater drone to give you the undersea experience. It's some fabulous, cool places. So we'll be featuring the Maritime Pier, and the sunken boat, because we kind of went off to the mud flats last time. There's a way cool boat this time. Other things coming up, again, that beach monitoring. So those low tides, they happen at night, the extreme lows. And so we kind of have our small handful of crew. I think we're limited to 5 people still. If that changes, I'm going to be delighted to open that up to the public. Get more people out on the beach doing science. But we'll be doing some live streams of those. So for all you night owls out there, I think our earliest one is maybe an 8:30 p.m. stream. We'll also be going live, I think, at like 10:30 at night. We'll be out on the beach on New Year's Eve. So I don't think we're gonna do a countdown, but I don't know. You want to join us on the beach for a countdown? That could be something we work out. So I'm looking forward to bringing you from your warm, cozy home out to the beach. Cross your fingers for us that it's not raining sideways. That makes, adds some difficulties to our technological adventures. So yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. But those are all posted on Facebook as well, so you can RSVP to that, and we'll be going live at the scheduled time, or at least close to the scheduled time. It's always good to maybe double check our website calendar or that Facebook event if you plan to tune in for any possible little updates or changes to that, because we're out in the field. We have our plans are in place, but sometimes we need to be adaptable, which hopefully you realize, like, if there's one thing that's awesome about Harper Wild Watch, it's our adaptability. So we appreciate all of you being adaptable with us, and look forward to seeing you virtually and someday in person. So I think that's it from my end.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Stina. And so excited.
Oh, there is one more thing.
Oh, one more thing.
I did just remember one of our in-person things. For all you scuba divers out there, we do have a rockfish survey coming up on the 20th of December. So if you want to add a twist, a little splash of science to your dive, feel free to join me for that, and I'll do a little how to survey for rockfish, and then you can add science to all your dives. So I'd be happy to get my divers in on that, because we can stay pretty socially distanced and then breathe our own air.
Our own air. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes, important. And that's another, speaking of amazing partnerships, that's another amazing partnership with NOAA, collecting all that data on the young a year rockfish. And Sina's been working on that project for, gosh, it's been over 3 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Pretty sweet. And Paua Marine Research Group. Cheers to them.
If you're watching.
Yeah.
So I think that we're kind of wrapping things up right now. But I do just want to let you know that if you've enjoyed the program that we've put on for you today, or any of the programs that we have delivered this year, I hope that you feel inspired to give to Harbor Wild Watch today on Giving Tuesday to help us close that gap that we've missed out on it with our in-person programs. A gift from you from anywhere from $5 up to, as high as your mind can go. It is going to ensure that our community has access to quality environmental education opportunities in 2021. And I think more importantly, it's going to ensure that the learning process in terms of environmental education is not going to be put on hold for our local youth. And I think that's one of the things that is challenging, with these virtual programs, virtual learning is, we're not going out to do our field trips and getting into the classroom so they can do those really experiential programs and get their hands dirty and all of that. But we're trying to make it a little bit easier and trying to keep that education going while most of our students are still doing virtual learning. So Rachel and Sina have just finished up an amazing salmon series that we're getting into our local classrooms that includes information for kind of from the salmon life cycle to watersheds to birds. I mean, everything you can think of having to do with salmon, they have covered, and there's some fun little activities in there as well. And they're going to be doing some more STEM workshops this school year and starting off in 2021. And then hopefully at some point in 2021, we will be in person again. That is our goal, but we are ready to be virtual if we need to be. So we learned a lot in 2020, and 2021 is going to be even, as far as our programs go, are going to be better and more exciting and more content. Everything's going to be great about it. So just one last reminder, you can give by going to our Facebook page, by going to our homepage of our website. There's a donate button right there on the front on Giving Tuesday, and that does go through midnight tonight. So we are happy and grateful for all of your donations. So I want to kind of end, and I'm going to put them on the spot here right now. If you can give me your favorite marine themed joke. I know you both have a lot. Well, maybe we'll start with Sina because I see Rachel's face. She's thinking right now. I know Sina's got tons of them.
Yeah, for you volunteers out there, I hope you're not too terribly missing my bi-weekly emails with my little sea creature jokes in them. Trying to think if I have a new one for you all, but I'm gonna go with a trusty old one, kind of thinking about our students out there and how awesome sharks are. We'll go with a classic. How did the hammerhead shark do on their test? They nailed it. There you go. I'm here all the time. No, I don't know.
So good.
I'm also I'm gonna scoot because I'm standing in the water now. So I'm gonna just don't mind me as I just kind of inch over to the high side of the beach.
You mean to tell me you can't control that tide?
Right? I know.
That would be so handy. If I had one superpower, it would be to control the tides, and it would be awesome.
That doesn't count as your joke, Rachel.
Oh, right.
But it's pretty good.
All right, my joke. It's terrible. Are you?
Oh, I'm ready.
Where do you find a giant snail?
Hmm.
At the end of a giant's fingers.
Nice. Lindsay, do you have a joke for us?
You guys have heard this because I only have one, and I use it all the time because I have one. I really should just look them up and have some more, but I don't. So what is a sea monster's favorite food?
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, this is a good one.
See, they know because I say it all the time. Fish and Ships.
So good.
That's
So
a
good.
good one.
My husband rolls his eyes every time I say that one. So
It's so funny though.
thank you all so much for joining us today. We are going to say goodbye for now, but please tune in to all those programs that Rachel and Stina talked about. Parents of the Night's the next one coming up. If you're a Steward Club member, make sure that you are checking your email. You this week would have got a Steward Club email for December, and we have a fun holiday Zoom activity that we're going to do for our Steward Club members, so be sure to get that on your calendar. And if you are not already subscribed to our weekly newsletter, you can do that on our website as well. This is going to give you every week. It comes out on Sundays, I believe. Is that right, Stina?
Sundays for now. I might switch it to Fridays because
All right.
I don't know. It comes
We might
out
make some changes in 2021, but weekly you're going to get an email, and it's going to have not only our upcoming events and what to look forward to, but it's going to have creature features and videos of the week and all sorts of fun things. So it's beautiful. Stina does that for us. So thank you, Stina.
And I would like to, there's a shout out to our virtual volunteers who are writing some of those creature features and probably some stewardship tips. So thanks, Hayden, and I think soon to be Mackenzie. So we appreciate that virtual support of our volunteers when we can't, offer the fun in the field kind of volunteer opportunities and internships. So woohoo!
Wonderful. So thank you all. You can find all of the information on our website. And of course, you can contact us if you'd like as well. info@harborwildwatch.org is going to be the best way to contact us. So thank you for being amazing supporters, helping us get through this year. We could not have done it without all of your support. So have a wonderful rest of your Giving Tuesday. Happy holidays, and we will see you again at our Appearance of the Night in December. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Learn how fun.
Learn how fun.